Hey, hi everyone. Good afternoon. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, we are very excited for this afternoon session. This is the first time, in fact, that we will be discussing healthcare products and mutual fund investments under one session. You see, healthcare products are here to protect you from any financial risks that may definitely or that may affect your investment portfolio. And that being said, high medical expenses will definitely leave a huge dent on your savings and investments. Therefore, if we don't manage this correctly, your financial goals and your timeline for these goals will be affected. So, in fact, guys, no, we as individuals, we are considered a middle class if we're just one sickness away from bankruptcy. So, allow me to start my presentation by sharing with you my experiences lately. Now, for several weeks now, most of the inquiries that I receive are pertaining to healthcare products. Ika nga, ito yung mga panahon na kahit hindi ka maglako ay may bibili. Well, dahil po talagang marami po talaga naghahanap ng healthcare products right now. That's why we felt that it should be part of the session for this afternoon. Now, whenever I conduct these kinds of interviews, and I ask them what's the reason behind of their inquiry and why they are looking for healthcare products during this time. And ang sagot po nila kadalasan, it's really because of the pandemic. It's actually an eye opener for them because they felt that they are vulnerable, because they saw their friends, their relatives, their loved ones getting wiped out because of high hospital bills. Now, there's a specific or a certain inquiry that I received last week. I interviewed this lady and she told me, sir, may relative ako, nasa Makati Med ngayon, very less than 2 weeks, the medical bill has amounted to 1.2 million already. Sir, ano po ba ang pwede nating gawin? So I told that person, I told her na, ang mahirap dyan, ika nga, is kumbaga sa bahay, nasusunog na yung bahay, tsaka ka maghahanap ng insurance. So, ang pwede mo na lang gawin ngayon is apulahin yung apoy gamit ang reserves mo na tubig. So, that pertaining to emergency funds and other investments. Tapos, kung maubos yan, ano bang kailangan mong gawin? Definitely, pupunta ka sa mga kapitbahay mo, sa mga relatives mo, hihingi ka ng tulong, pampaapulan ng apoy. Pero, you see, buti sana kung ikaw lang yung nasusunugan sa neighborhood mo. But the problem during this time pandemic is this. Hindi lang ikaw ang nasusunugan. In fact, your other neighbors are also asking for help. So, alam nyo, hindi lang ito masyado na-highlight dati during the normal times. But nonetheless, we can feel now that we need to prepare for these things. Okay? Now, it's very obvious talaga. Now, let's see the landscape for medical funding here in the Philippines. As you can see, pag may nakakasakit, pag may na-hospital, ano ang ginagamit? 54% said they're using out-of-pocket to pay for the medical bills. And then that is really high. Kaya po, hindi na po kayo magtataka. In between, lalo na pag talagang matindi yung sakit, may makikita kayo dyan, a friend asking for medical help, funding, help for the hospital bills. And talagang magiging talamak po yan because again, we are using out-of-pocket expenses. Now, 34% said they're using or they're relying on Philhealth, which is the government healthcare system, which can be limited on many times. Now, 11% only said that they're using HMO, medical insurance, and critical illness as a tool to fund their medical expenses. This is actually really low. So we want to address this para hindi po tayo mapunta sa 54% na talagang ang problema po kasi dyan pag wala ka ng ipon, naubos na yung investments and savings mo, ano mangyayari? Uutang ka na po. Okay, pag umutang ka na, pwede ka na mabaon, back to square one ka, lahat ng mga pangarap mo sa buhay. I mean, uulitin mo ulit yun. So we don't want that kind of scenario. Now, we know guys, Philhealth is not enough. Okay. Lalo na po ngayon, nagkakaubusan po talaga ng pondo sa Philhealth right now. In fact, they have a huge amount of debt, not only not only in the public hospitals but mainly for to private organizations and hospitals. In fact, right now po, kung may na-experience na po kayo Pag ikaw po na hospital ngayon, sa private hospital, ang kailangan niya po ngayon is cash basis po. Even if magpapa-ICU ka, if the range is 30 to 50,000, you need to settle that in cash every day. So isipin mo, kung 50,000 yan a day, meron kang 300,000, 6 days lang yung tatagal ng reserves mo. So it's really hard right now. So for this example, no, just in case you have a surgery, coronary artery bypass graft, this package is under St. Luke's. No, this is a published rate under St. Luke's. Now, under the Philhealth benefit, they will cover 550,000 pesos, which is a significant amount na rin. But the question is, for the shortfall of 429,000, do you have enough reserves? Do you have enough emergency fund? Kung wala, ika nga, may problema. Now, the question is, especially during this time, if someone gets hit by all kinds of illnesses, no? And especially sabihin na natin, COVID. Question is, are you financially prepared? Ladies and gentlemen, it should be something that we are considering to get and be prepared of, no, during this time. It's really a point of concern. Marami talaga tayong nakikitang lumulubog because of the situation right now. Now, all of us, we want financial freedom. Diba? Yun naman talaga yung reason bakit din po kayo nandito sa session na to. We want to attain financial freedom. However, for you to attain this, the important thing that you need to do is to create a solid base. And then this diagram is very important. We always show this, but I'd like to specify lang, no? Again, this diagram is very important because just like the Pyramid of Giza in Egypt, okay, after 4,500 years after being built, no, it still stands today. Why is that? This is because of its solid base. Isipin nyo, kung i-tilt nyo yung pyramid, no, tingin nyo magso-survive yung makikita nyo pa at the present times. I doubt it. Again, you need a solid base just like building your financial portfolio. Again, ang problema po sa ating kasing Pinoy, nauuna lagi investments eh. Kasi yun yung mas masaya, yun yung mas nafe-feel mo agad rather than getting protection products like insurances, healthcare products, medical insurance products. So yun po yung nangyayari sa atin. Now, if we build our portfolio based on investments, again, our portfolio will collapse because of different financial risks. And right now, we're just talking about medical funding, technically. All right? So, while we will be discussing market opportunities later on here in Rampver, our job is also to remind you that in order for you to maximize the benefit of this pandemic, okay, the opportunities here during pandemic, you need to secure yourself and your family first from these kinds of threat. No? Kailangan protectionan nyo ang sarili nyo at ang pamilya nyo at ang mga pangarap nyo para sa kanila. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Now, let's look at the value of a healthcare plan. No? So, isipin nyo to. For example, you have an emergency fund or an investment amounting to 200,000 pesos. Okay, malaki na yan. But, alam niyo yun, within the week, for example, tamaan ka ng isang illness and your medical expense, okay, amounted to 200,000. Guess what? Ano mangyayari? Of course, you will have to use your emergency fund. And sa samang palad, pag investments lang meron ka, you will be using your investments. Now, what is the repercussion? Again, if your investment fund is tied to a specific goal that you want to hit after a few years, then babalik ka sa square one. So, i-adjust mo ulit yung goal mo. Now, ano ba yung gusto nating mangyari? Gusto nating mangyari ganito. If there's a medical expense, sabihin natin 200,000, you would want to have a financial institution backing you up. Okay? So, sila yung magpapalo, sila yung magbabayad ng medical expenses mo. Now, this way, you will be able to safeguard your emergency fund, your investments for a much greater purpose. Tayo nga no, pag lumalabas tayo kasama barkada natin, if for example in a dinner, as much as possible nga, di ba? Gusto mo ikaw yung huling magbigay, di ba? Tatanungin, magkano ang bag mo? Di ba mas masaya yung minsan wala kang inambag masyado, di ba? For the sake of argument, di ba? Ibang-iba pag may nagbabayad ng gastos, hindi ikaw mismo. Okay? So ganun din po yung value ng ating mga healthcare plans. Alright? Now, the question is, especially sa mga wala pa pong HMO and medical insurance, ano po ba yung benefits na nakukuha natin? Especially for HMO is actually the most comprehensive plan that you can get for your healthcare. Now, it provides a preventive care benefit that is actually more on routinary checkups, consultations about diet, nutrition. If you want to have yourself vaccinated in terms of administration, they will take care of it at no cost, no? Except for the vaccine, of course. But part of the preventive care is actually the annual checkup. So wala kang babayaran, but you can have yourself checked for magpapa-x-ray ka, magpapakuha ka ng dugo, blood count mo, check yung urine mo, yung stool mo, and then you can have a one-on-one discussion with the doctor, no, on how you are feeling. Okay? But the most important things are the next three, no? Number one would be the inpatient care. So, pag na-confine ka, magagamit ka. Alam naman natin, mas mahal ang gastusin pag ikaw ay naka-confine. Okay? Dahil kumbaga sa taxi, on a daily basis and on a hourly basis, tumatakbo yung metro mo sa hospital. So, you'd want to have that kind of backup. Now, for the outpatient care, okay, if you want to have yourself checked by a doctor, you want to have a consultation, you want to get a laboratory test, the outpatient care or the outpatient benefit will be there, and it's shouldered by HMO and medical insurance plans. Ma-share ko lang po, ang nanay ko po, okay, I basically she passed away already, but before, when I was growing up, sabi ko, ma, magpa-check up ka. Sasabi niya sa akin lagi, naku, ayokong malaman na ako'y mamamatay na. So parang for me, medyo weird. But I mean, the main reason bakit ayaw niya magpa-check up was because of limited funds. So isipin mo, siya, imbes na papapa-check up niya, pambibili niya na lang ng pagkain namin pang araw-araw. So if we were able to give that, if she has this kind of coverage, for sure ako, regular yan. Wala kang babayaran eh. Mas madali ka magpa-check up. Kasi, again, wala kang it's free technically, no? Unlimited somehow, no? And next would be emergency care. Okay, just in case there's a reason for you to go to the emergency room because of accident or a sudden pain that you're feeling, then the HMO and then the medical insurance will take care of your emergency room expenses. So that's the beauty of these plans. Again, pagpasok mo lang ho sa Makati Med, no, pagtapak mo ng ER, 2.5 ho agad yun. I don't know lang ngayon, pero before, it was 2.5 pagkatapak mo. Pagkaupo mo sa triage, it's 2.5 already. So for some, that's really expensive, right? And lastly, of course, there are some HMOs that provides dental care. So at least ito parang mga na lang to, mga basic add-ons na lang. But again, I'd like to focus more on the more important things like the inpatient, outpatient, and then emergency care. So these are the things that you should have under your portfolio before investing or while investing. Okay? Now, let's check naman the levels of medical funding. Okay, if you are able to attend our sessions before, basically in Rampver, we try to create a certain portfolio for your healthcare because using several products, we try to address all the possible risks that you have under healthcare. Okay? Now, the strength of HMO is actually on the inpatient and then outpatient benefit. So pag confinement, checkups, and laboratory, dyan perfect si HMO. However, the problem kasi with HMO, especially pag sa inpatient na, alam naman natin yan ang matinding gastusan. And if you only have 200,000 worth of benefits and then napatagal ka, tingin nyo kasya yung HMO nyo. Okay. Kadalasan hindi ho. So ano yung pwede mong gamitin while you are confined? In fact, kadalasan ito yung wala sa portfolio ng mga tao. It's actually medical insurance. Kasi medical insurance, ang pinaka-kino-cover niya is actually an inpatient benefit or inpatient need while you are being confined. And also, of course, even if you're diagnosed with critical illness, even if you're terminally ill, as long as you're confined, then medical insurance would be there. Now, if you have a life insurance or a critical illness under a life insurance, well and good. Especially if you're diagnosed with a critical illness or you are terminally ill, then you can make use of the critical illness benefit. Later on, I'll share with you how you can use that also. But nonetheless, again, pag hindi ka, I mean, despite the efforts of you want to get better, you want to survive, but just in case hindi tayo umabot, no? We join our creator very early, then the life insurance would kick in and provide benefits for the loved ones. So these are the things that we suggest to our clients. So I hope that is clear, no? And of course, you may ask your for the people that invited you here and ask more about these things. We will gladly have we would be gladly love to answer those inquiries. Now, to compare these benefits, very quick lang po, again, ang HMO po is very comprehensive. It takes care of everything, inpatient, outpatient, emergency, preventive care. However, for medical insurance, the focus is really on inpatient benefit. Now, the outpatient, it can be optional, okay, but it's not that comprehensive as an HMO. However, the critical illness benefit, on the other hand, or the critical illness rider, it provides a lump sum benefit naman if you're diagnosed with a critical illness. So, yun po yung pinagkaiba nila talaga. Now, in terms of the benefit naman, the amount of benefit, the average amount of benefit for HMO is between 50 to 300,000, but based on the things that I've been seeing, it's just 50 to 200,000, which is really small, no? Especially if you're dealing with inpatient need. Now, the medical insurance, on the other hand, the lowest benefit that you can get is 500,000. And then you will be surprised that the premiums are really low, okay, compared to the benefit that it provides. By the way, some medical insurance, the maximum that you can get is around 100 million pesos. Okay, that's quite steep, right? For critical illness naman, the average coverage is around 500,000 to 200,000 because, you know, it's very expensive. For you to avail higher than 2 million, the premiums would definitely be really high. So, minsan na nasa ganyang average lang siya. Okay, in terms of availment naman, for HMO, it's actually cashless, but at the same time, you can only avail the services within the network of the HMO. So, kung sino yung accredited hospital nila, tsaka doctor nila, doon ka lang po pwede. So, somehow, can be limited if you have your own personal doctor. But si medical insurance naman, on the other hand, the benefit can be a reimbursement type or a cashless type, but you may choose your doctor. Yun naman yung maganda doon. If you use the accredited hospitals and doctors, then cashless ka. Pero kung gusto mo talaga, since may trusted doctor ka in hospital, pwede ka doon. However, magiging reimbursement yung benefit mo. Now, the critical illness benefit naman can be used for, hospital expenses, of course, but nonetheless, it can be used for post-hospitalization as well. So again, guys, these are the difference of each product. And let me remind you, hindi po sila nag-aaway. In fact, they complement one another and you need all of them technically. So, if you want to have your own, or if you want to know your personalized portfolio, we can do that for you. We can tailor fit that for you. Okay, because that's what we do. Now, let us show you how we present this to our clients as well. How do we make use of the portfolio? So it's like this. So this one naman, CABG pa rin, but with single valve replacement, and this one is under the heart center naman. Yung package na to is under the heart center. This is the published rate. Again, as mentioned a while ago, 550,000 will be shouldered by Philhealth based on the Z benefit. Okay? Now, if you have your HMO, for example, amounting to 100,000, makakatulong pa rin. Instead na 550 yung kailangan mong itawid na shortfall, magiging 450 na lang. Okay, malaking tulong pa rin kaysa wala, di ba? However, if you have your medical insurance amounting to 500,000, you will now be able to take care everything. You can now pay for everything. And at the same time, may sobra ka pa. So somehow, pwede mo pang i-stretch yung stay mo and yung mga pangangailangan mo while you are confined, no? Because of the CABG. Now, ano gagawin natin pag meron kang critical illness? Okay. Kami po, we suggest that if you have a critical illness rider that you can avail of from your insurance policy, as much as possible, try to use it for post-hospitalization expenses. So, yung rehabilitation mo, yung medicines mo, okay, follow through checkups, laboratory, all of those things. Kasi pag yun ginamit mo, for example, wala kang medical insurance but you have your critical illness benefit. I mean, of course, you can still use that to settle your hospital bills. But nonetheless, isipin mo, sayang din yun eh. Kung may 1 million kang critical illness, mababawasan siya ng 500. Now, if you can keep the entire 1 million just for your post-hospitalization, then, di ba, that's actually a good way to manage your funds, to stretch everything. Okay? So I hope that is clear and that is sensible enough for everyone. Now, sometimes when I present healthcare products, the main concern or the main reason then why they're inquiring is because, I mean, they have a pre-existing condition, they know that, alam mo yun, they might use it sooner or later. That's why they're inquiring. Okay, let me tell you guys, there's a certain provisions for pre-existing condition. So para po sa mga bago, what is a pre-existing condition? It is a health condition, regardless if you know it or you don't know it yet, unless it is there already, no, prior to your application for the health or health insurance or medical insurance or life insurance. It is considered pre-existing already. Again, regardless if it's known or unknown. Now, you should know these things. I mean, you should understand these things because if you have a pre-existing condition, it would have a direct impact on your benefits. So number one, for HMO, okay, normally if it's a pre-existing, they don't cover it. Okay, same then with medical insurance. If you know that or they know already that you have a pre-existing condition, it's either they don't cover for it, and or second, they have a limited offer for the coverage. So, kailangan when you're buying your HMO or medical insurance plan, you should discuss these things with your advisor. So, para po clear, no? Especially pag nagkaroon po tayo ng claim. Now, sabihin sa akin, oh, what if hindi ko pa naman alam, no? Wala talaga akong nararamdaman, pero nag-manifest siya during the first year of my plan. Okay. Sa HMO and medical plan po, there's a 1-year contestability period. Okay, what does it tell you? During the first year, you're entitled only for, in terms of coverage, you're entitled for viral or bacterial infection claims only. So, again, kung katanungin nyo po, kung kasama po ba ang COVID? Technically, yes. Kasi viral infection po siya. So, does our partner cover COVID? So far, yes. That's the answer. Alright? Now, if nag-manifest siya within the first year, technically magiging part po siya ng pre-existing condition nyo. There are certain technicalities depending on the plan, but nonetheless, pag sa HMO po yan, kadalasan on the second year, hindi po pa rin siya 100% covered. Okay, that's the situation for HMO. But for medical insurance, there's a chance that on the second year, it can be covered already, 100% of your limit. So, there's a deeper discussion for that, but nonetheless, I hope that gives you a bird's eye view about the pre-existing condition. All right. Now, the next question is, if I have pre-existing conditions, yung parents ko may pre-existing conditions na, should or can we still apply for it, or kailangan ko ba talagang mag-apply niyan? Pwede pa ba, or sensible pa ba na kumuha ng ganitong plans? My answer is a big yes. Okay. Why is that? Okay, this is the I'll use our personal experience, no? Personal situation. My father, we got him a plan under Pacific Cross or the medical plan, no? Medical insurance. We know that he is hypertensive. And there's a limitation on his hypertension already in terms of coverage. But nonetheless, here's the thing, no? We know na, syempre, yun yung pagbubusan mo ng medical funds mo about his hypertension, the medication, the maintenance, ganyan. So, the question is, if you're setting aside funds for that, now what if tamaan ka ng other illnesses like a viral infection? Sabihin na natin ngayon, COVID. So, I have a 200,000 medical fund, but my fault, if ever, no, that person contracted 200,000. So, ano mangyayari? Madideplete ko yung medical fund ko for the other purpose. The question is, what if after that, gumaling na, ganyan, so mag-ipon ka ulit for your medical fund, dun siya tinamaan about, or that is related to his or her hypertension. Di ba masakit, di ba? Mas lalo, parang mawawala yung purpose na nag-set aside ka before. So you will be put at risk in actually your entire family. So ano yung gusto nating mangyari? We want to have this. We still set aside a medical fund, so i-isolate mo yon. But I will tap someone, a financial institution, HMO, medical insurance, na pag iba yung naging sakit, okay, ikaw bahala dyan. Pag hypertension, ako, magsi-self-insure ako. Pero pag iba, ikaw ang bahala dyan, ikaw ang sumagot niyan. Hindi po ba mas sensible yon that you keep, parang you diversify your portfolio for other purposes? So this way, you'll be able to secure yourself, your family, and everyone, even your relatives. Kasi either way, pag nangailangan ka, doon ka hihingi ng tulong. So ayaw natin ng ganung abala. That's why these plans are very important. Now, important notes lang po. Again, guys, when these plans are being offered to you, okay, please remember that you are applying for the coverage. You are not buying it technically. So does it tell you they can reject you? Especially if you're not insurable anymore. They can reject you, especially for the critical illness. They can reject you. So what do we do? Okay. Start young. Start young. While you are still healthy, you don't have any pre-existing conditions, as much as possible, start young. Because you'll be able to maximize the benefits. At the same time, the premiums are still low. So for those who will be starting just now, it's never too late. Again, guys, despite of your age, your situation, your budget, your funds, no, it's not too late because there's a plan or product for everyone. Kahit 1,000 pesos lang yung pera mo, meron pa rin tayong magagamit or mabibili para pang-address kahit papaano nung risks na pwede mong ma-incur. So again, guys, we have a solution for you. Okay? Now, just like to remind everyone also, especially kung kumuha ka na ng mga plans, not all claims are 100% covered. Why is that? Because there's what we call inner limits. Parang for this specific procedure, up to a certain amount lang, parang ganyan. So, yung iba may inner limits. Kaya wag po kayo magtaka kung sakaling ito yung total bill mo, pero parang 90% lang yung na-cover ng plan mo. Mainly because may inner limits po yan. Ngayon, wag po kayo magdismaya. Bakit? Kasi isipin nyo, at least, konti lang yung binayaran mo. Kung may babayaran ka man, hindi yung buong medical bill. So, I hope that is very sensible as well, no? Sana wag po kayo madismaya if that happens. Now, I always say this, especially for protection products, insurances. It doesn't have to be expensive. You'll just have to get the biggest coverage that you can get out of your budget. Now, you'll be surprised. These products are really cheap. For starters, let me share with you. Okay, the smallest amount of HMO. Okay, by the way, the sample age is age 30, male. Now, for the amount of coverage, for the amount of 60,000 as a coverage for HMO, the annual premium is 12,000 pesos lang. Now, hatiin mo yun sa 12 months, that is just 1,000. These are just projected amount, but nonetheless, there are certain adjustments if you do monthly or quarterly payments because there are modal charges. Now, for a 200,000, which is actually this a decent coverage that we're offering, no? The amount is 25,000 regardless of age, from 18 years old to 60 years old. So this is 25,000 regardless of the age. So again, if you break it down to monthly, that's just 2,100 pesos a month. Madaling-madali po yan kung titingnan natin dyan. Now, let me share with you also the medical insurance. Again, as mentioned a while ago, you'll be surprised that despite the amount of coverage, the annual premium is very small. As a starter, it's just 8,500. And kung we break down mo yan sa monthly, it's just 714 pesos lang po. Murang-mura lang ho yan. Okay? Now, For the critical illness, we have a term type of critical illness. Is actually new in the market, and then we've been pushing for this even last year. For a 720,000 critical illness, the amount that you'll have to spend is just 7,900. Okay, kung breakdown mo yan, 660 pesos lang ho yan. Mas mahal pa po yung Shopee at Lazada nyo dyan. Correct? But nonetheless, pwede po talaga eh. Pwede. Now, the other thing is if you want to, alam mo, somehow if you have a budget, you want to maximize everything, a VUL product that offers a 3 million life insurance policy or life insurance coverage plus yung 2 million po kasi critical illness lang yan. So, ibig sabihin you have a 3 million life insurance, that's you have a 2 million critical illness for 25,000 pesos lang po. Kung mapapansin nyo po, again, hindi po kailangan mahal ang products natin. Meron po talaga tayong mga murang products in the market. You'll just have to search for it and also seek for advice. We're here. Again, guys, we are here to listen. All of you, you have your own unique financial needs, and we are here to listen. As mentioned, we are here to tailor fit the solution just for you. So please be in touch with us. Please be in touch with the person who invited you. Thank them. Because, I mean, you will now realize that you have an option not only for you, but also for your family. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, with all of the partners that we have, with all the reputable partners that we have, we are the only one in the market that can provide a non-biased financial solution to you and your family. So before I end my presentation, I just want to tell you this one. Please protect your health. Okay? Because your health can actually wipe out your wealth. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. I hope I was able to help you and your family. God bless you all. Thank you so much.